then
Okay.
we'll put it live on the Facebook. This usually doesn't take this long to. Okay, I'll see if that comes up. If it doesn't come up, we'll just talk and you
Record
look
and then post it.
shadowy. I look all I'm all like in the shadows and I'm walking around. I'm you can tell I'm very unrehearsed, but man, check out you, man. That's
Thank
great.
you. Well, I am a stylist,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I love looking and feeling good. So are we on?
We are on. We're not on the Facebook yet.
Okay.
I'm not sure why it's taking a minute to try that again. See if it comes up quicker. Oh, now it's coming up quicker. Okay, so and we'll call it. I was thinking being together with Sabelle and James.
Being together. Yeah, being together with Sabelle and James. Yep.
Being together with and all right. So I'm posting it. It's going live. Quite exciting. I think this is okay being live streamed, and I think we've got it. I'm not sure how much of this that we're saying now will be streamed. Probably all,
Mm-hmm.
probably all of it. Sure how much of this
Okay.
saying now will be streamed. You can hear that. So,
Yes.
turn the volume
So,
down there. Okay, there we go. There
okay.
we go. We
Hello.
are being.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going good.
So
Do
I
you
think
want to give
go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was
Do you
just
want
saying.
to
I
give
think
a context?
well, Sabella and I met a couple of months ago, and we've had some very fantastic conversations over the past, especially the past week. And we wanted to continue that, and we wanted to share our wisdom or our I don't know our perspective or just who we're being with all of you a little bit by
Yeah.
having authentic conversations.
Yeah, and since this is like our personal pages, maybe people don't know what being means,
Mhm.
and so maybe I can, just give a quick understanding of what it is. So James and I are both coaches. We love being with people, and what we're doing right now is really trying to be together in a fully authentic way. So that's why we call this thing being together. And being has a whole different meaning for a lot of people, but for us, it has a specific meaning. Do you want to talk about that? What being means
Well,
to us?
I'll give you my perspective, and I think we're on the same page more or less.
I
But
think we are.
I I will say that for me, what it means is we have thoughts that go through our head constantly, over and over again, but we are not our thoughts, and the
Mm-hmm.
we who is not our thoughts, that's who we are being. So we are the who is observing our thoughts, if that makes sense. We're the watcher of our thoughts. We're at like who we're being is at our deepest core the person who's
It,
watching our experience.
it does make sense.
Yeah.
And for me, it's, I would say the simplest way I can define it is human being and human doing. And I think about it as human beings, we spend most of our time just doing. We are going one thing after the other. And being today means for me and for you too, to just be more, as you said, observer of who we are and who we are as a person,
Hmm.
with
Hmm.
thoughts, with feelings, emotions, and how we act based on those thoughts and those emotions and all of that.
Hmm.
So, who
Yeah.
we are as human beings. Yeah.
Right. Right. And what I think is interesting is we talk a lot about how you can. Well, I'll use the word program, and somebody might think it different, but I think of it that way. How we program our brains, we program the way we are being by what we say. and the congruence of what we say with what we do. So,
Yes.
to give you an example of that, oh, I use this example all the time, but it's a pretty good one. I used to be, unlike the svelte, studly guy I am now, right? I used to weigh about 70 pounds more than I do now. And at the time, I would say I've got to eat better, I've got to exercise, but I would back that up by going to Cheesecake Factory and enjoying lunch with
Mm.
my family, and then eating donuts all day. So, um, to me, it's like you say something and then you back it up with actual action that confirms what you're saying, and that becomes programmed to be who you're being.
Mm.
So right now, I've programmed my brain, but because I've made the declaration that I'm being a person who practices intermittent fasting, for example,
Mm.
and I
So what
back
I'm
that
hearing,
up. I back that up by actually doing it, right? So that we.
yeah. So what I'm hearing is that you are consciously doing or creating who you say you are, what you say you are.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yeah.
that's fun. And you know what? That makes me want to share maybe the five principles of, like, I call them my five values as a
Hmm.
person,
Hmm.
as my being. And I know you call them principles. So maybe it can be fun for us to share those.
Yes, yeah.
So,
You want to go first
yes,
and share your five?
yes, I'll do that. I'll do that. And I think I posted that a few weeks ago, or maybe a couple months ago on my Facebook page. But what I am doing now is that I am consciously aware of who I am and what I'm doing. And I have decided to live my life in the lens of five values. And those values are, first one is really authenticity, meaning having nothing to hide, living in
Hmm.
full light. Why authenticity? It's because I am fully confident in who I am, the daughter of God, and created in His image. So, because I am conscious of who I am, so I am authentic, fully authentic. And the second one is unconditional love for everyone,
Hmm.
meaning that because I know how loved I am by God, I want to express that same love towards people, no matter what they are, who they are, what they're doing. I don't judge them. I love them. Now, if they ask me what I believe in, I'll tell them, but I do love them. The third one is loving kindness. Osset, one of our friends on our group we're a member of, talks about loving kindness as the operating system of love. It means if you
Yes.
love unconditionally, the way you live in this world is really through loving kindness. And for me, that's compassion, that's tenderness, that's forgiveness, all of that. And the third, the fourth value that I live by is conscious creation. So it means that I try to be fully aware of who I am and what I'm doing
Hmm.
every day, at every moment, if I can. And the last one is self, self love, self care, self appreciation. It means that the God who created me loves me. So there is no reason that I don't take care of myself. So I want to be a good steward of the person that God has created. So
Hmm.
those are the five values of my being.
Yeah.
So what are the principles you live by?
Yeah. Could you actually could we go over those again? Just
So authenticity for me,
authenticity,
loving
loving
kindness,
kindness,
self love,
self love,
um, help me. Authenticity, I said
awesome.
that. I said self love. I said loving kindness, conscious creation.
Cosmos creation. Yes.
And what's the last one?
Oh, we'll have to
See?
go back to the. Well, let's
Yes,
go
we'll have
back
to
to
go
the.
back. But I did share the five. See, this is life. Okay, no
Yeah.
cheat sheets. Yes.
So my framework is similar, and what I use is just five ideas about the way the mind works that have really made a big impact on me and the way I'm thinking. So the first is that the thoughts you have create your results. Not all thoughts, but the thoughts that you practice over and over again will create your results and create your world and your perception of the world. So thoughts create results. The second is you're separate from your thoughts. and you're separate from your emotions as well, and you are also separate from your experience of the outside world. You're separate from all those things. That's not you. Okay. And the third is that the point of this all is to practice. It's not to learn one of these things, and that's one of the misconceptions I think I had when I got into coaching was, oh, if I learn this once, then I've got it. But that's not true because what I'm learning is a thought that I have to practice that's battling against maybe 30 or 40 years of other thoughts that are opposing this idea. So you have to practice. And I also live that just as far as in my life, right? So my life is a practice. I practice yoga, I practice exercising, I practice music, and whatever. So practice. And then the fourth one is presence.
Mhm.
So being present as a way of being in this moment, like you and I together in this moment, this is the only moment that exists, and the past and the future are all concepts that I'm thinking about from this moment. And then finally, the fifth is to being. To be who you're being is everything. So that you, that's not uh, your thoughts or your experiences. That's who you're being, and that's the most important thing. And what I live by is I want to be first and foremost love. I want to be love. I want to be in creation. I like what you said about conscious creation. So for me,
Conscious creation,
yeah,
yes.
conscious creation. Uh, one of the things we study is, and we've been exposed to both of us, is that we're creating things all the time,
All the time,
all the
yes. We're
time.
making up stories
Yes,
or,
yes, yes. So,
projects or yes. Yeah.
so we want to be creation in, like you saying, a conscious way. We want to be deliberate about what we're creating rather than creating by default something.
Exactly.
So
I like
be
that.
love, be creation, and then when you talk about authenticity, it's like be you in every situation.
I do
Don't
feel we have a lot in common.
yeah,
Yes, we call it differently, but it's the same ideas. I've
yeah,
the conscious creation, you and I, the authenticity, the
mhm,
unconditional love,
yeah.
right? And I think where we separate is in the self love and self appreciation. I would see
Well,
that
I would
in
say,
being. I would
yeah,
see
I
that in
don't.
your being.
Yeah, I didn't include that as it's interesting to like when I first started my framework, I was I was saying the five principles, but there's no the five principles. These are five that are important to me, but there are all sorts of other ideas that are maybe just as important, like you say, self love.
And I see
And
self-love in the love,
yeah,
right?
it is included.
It is embedded, it is
Yeah,
included, right? So I feel like it's the same ideas and then we expand them the way we are.
yeah,
We can interpret them how we are.
yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love that. What's something you were saying that we do all the time is really, as you said, not being in the moment. We are every
We
time
are
either we
we're
don't
all, yeah,
live
they're
in,
thinking about what happened before, or we're thinking
yes,
about what's going to happen,
and we
and
miss the present, right?
and we miss the present moment because we're wishing we were somewhere else, where we're somewhere where we used to be,
Exactly.
or somewhere where we're going. It's like,
Exactly.
oh, it's like what are we going to do when we get off this call?
Yeah.
Instead of being there, we want to
Just
be
to live in.
here
Mm-hmm.
because here and now, that's really the only time we ever have,
That's all we
and that um, concept can expand out to taking action on your dreams.
Yes.
Taking
I
action.
say that. Mhm.
Yeah, the only time you can do that is now.
I agree. And I share that with my son a lot, my oldest son. He's always like, okay, so next year or when I do this, or, he's in the past. And I'm like, can you realize that you are not enjoying what you're doing now because you're thinking
Exactly.
about what you're
Exactly.
going to do?
Exactly.
And he's like, yeah. So that is helping him, just
Yeah.
be in the moment and enjoy the here and now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
So we agreed to do this every day of the week, 15 minutes,
That's
just to
good.
be in discussion
Just
about
to
who we
see
are being.
what happens, and
Mm-hmm.
it went pretty well so far. We'll be a little more organized and know exactly. I think we'll have to experiment with that Facebook Live and see, because there's something there that we're missing, I think.
And then I say one last thing. I want to share one last thing. So one of my values is authenticity, right? And when James first asked me to do this, I was like, oh, I'm not sure I want to do this because you and I are just showing up on Facebook and in front of the whole world
Yep.
and what
Yeah.
is our relationship and all of that.
Yeah.
And I realized that it doesn't matter. We're friends and
Yeah. Yeah.
we are connecting here
Yep.
together because we both are coaches and there are a lot of things that we want to share together.
Hmm.
So that's
And
who we are.
we just have and we share a lot of things in common. We have the ability to have very long conversations,
Yes,
which
deep
I love.
conversation. And we
Yeah.
love books. We
Yeah,
love books. So we
we
can
both
talk about
love
our
it.
books for hours.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, that was fun.
All right, so I don't know if I can turn off the Facebook. Um, I stopped the live stream. Okay, so I've stopped the live stream, and
Mhm.
you actually wanted feedback from me. If I can give you feedback really quick, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, but it's a minute. I have to send it to you.
Okay, okay,
Yes. Okay.
sounds good. I had a question for you. Did I miss a was there a deadline that I missed that you wanted for the? Was
It's
there?
okay. I had to send it yesterday. We said we finalize it by Sunday, but it's okay because it was just the first one, and I found that well, I just start with me, so it's
Okay.
good.
Yeah,
So
I'm sorry. You should
I
if there was a deadline that I missed, you can poke me or tag me or do
yeah
whatever
I
you
could yeah I
do.
thought I didn't want to push through and stuff, but it's good. So we'll use it for the coming weeks.
Yeah, what a
Okay.
well, I'll have to tell you later, but it was a spectacular day for me yesterday. So,
Yesterday I thought you were outside, right? You were out
I
and you
went
were
to
doing.
I went to a
We're not live anymore, right?
no, we're not live anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to a rock concert. Actually, I should stop the recording.
That's so fun. That's so fun.
Yeah, it was just on a whim.